What is up, Not So Pro Football Talk? Yes, it is me, Vince the Prince. I am back to host back
Woo!
week 11. Reed, thank you so much for graciously making an amazing video for week 10. Just AJ and I got busy, guys, but we got our picks in and we have the records in and everything like that. But this week is special because AJ's on his honeymoon.
Ooh.
So AJ is leading us right now in the standings. I'll go over this past week. Reed, you went 7-7, and in week 10, you went 10-4. So you're doing pretty good, man. Uh, I went 7-7 both in week 10 and week 11, and AJ in week 10 went 10-4, and he did amazing this past week, almost perfect, 12-2. Uh,
Yes.
him, it's a good thing for him, honeymoon, good week of projections there for him, so congrats, AJ. But here's the twist. Since AJ's out there on a cruise, if he doesn't get his picks in, I say they're all losses. What do
A
you
hundred percent all losses. But he does not get his picks in time, and we're picking him earlier than him. We don't know as much information as him. If he doesn't get his picks in before the games happen, those are automatic L's. Automatic L's. He's gonna go 0 and like 14 this week. 100%.
You heard it here first, guys. So make sure that you do not tell AJ anything. Make sure that he forgets and he does not remember what day it is, because we're hoping that he gets 14 losses in a row so we can catch up. But we're still well behind Reed, so he's gonna have to miss at least 2 weeks or something. But we'll get right into it. Right, this Thursday, a really really good divisional game: Cincinnati Bengals versus Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are favored by 3.5 here, and I think I'm gonna take them. I think they've been doing great. Uh, they played great these past 2 weeks against the Seahawks, and then this past week, I just think they're on a roll. They're one of the best teams in the NFL, in my opinion, currently on both sides of the ball. In my opinion, I think they're one of the best overall complete teams.
Gotcha. I do remember. I think they came up with a loss last week in the final minutes.
Yeah.
I was not able to watch all the games. I decided to spend my Sunday watching Loki. Incredible show, by the way.
Ooh.
But I'm gonna actually take the Bengals here. I think the Ravens falter again. I love the Ravens, and I'm gonna predict that the Texans were just that good, and that's why they beat the Bengals. All right, that's my prediction. The Texans were just that good. I'm going to take the
Hey,
Bengals here,
man.
plus 3.5. It's going to be a close one for sure, though.
It was a great game. I will give it that for sure. So we'll go ahead and put those picks in. Reed, I will give you the benefit of the doubt on this first one. We're
All
going to
right.
pick the Cincinnati Bengals here just because you never know what's going to happen. But moving on to the first Sunday game, we had the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. It looks like another divisional game in that tight race there for who's going to make the playoffs. Browns are only favored by 1 here, and I think that's coming off the news that Deshaun Watson is out for the season. Shoulder injury, pretty bad, season-ending surgery. I still think I'm going to go with the Browns here. Reed, tell me what you think about the Steelers, because you picked them to win this past week, and they did. Or no, not this past week. The week before that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be also a good game. It's a rivalry division game. The Browns just lost their quarterback, but in my opinion, it's probably a good thing because the dude's trash, terrible, not good for them at all. Highway robbery, what he's doing to them as far as their cap. Do you know he's cost them $64 million against the cap next year? $64
It's
million.
insane.
Absolutely
Insane.
terrible contract they made for him. But I'm gonna go with the Steelers here. All right, +1. I like it. I don't know if they're gonna be able to win. I think it's more of a toss-up game for me. But I Steelers win games. That's who they are. They are not a good team at all. I don't think highly of them at all. But they win games. They're able to come up on top. So I'm taking the Steelers.
It is true, man. It is true. And this is why I think this one is super cool to bet on, because it could go either way. But I'm going to click the Browns here just because we picked Reed's pick last time. But we'll move on to the Arizona Cardinals versus the Houston Texans. Now, Kyler Murray's back, but the Houston Texans are rolling, man.
They are.
I mean, That was an amazing game. CJ Stroud, awesome. I loved every single second of it. That was one of the games that I actually did watch just because of how hyped it was. But the Houston Texans are favored here by five whole points here. Um, I think I have to ride with them, man. They're hot, and I think against the Arizona Cardinals and the way Kyler Murray is going to play in this next game, I think the Texans will take advantage.
I'm not. This is the first time we've done bet against the spreads, so I don't know the history. But I would probably guess that this is the biggest spread in the favor of the Texans they probably have had in years. So this is incredible for them, and I think it's really awesome. I'm also going to vibe with the Texans and take them here -5. I like what the Cardinals are doing a little bit. James Conner's back, Kyler Murray. He looked pretty good for coming off of an injury. But the Texans, they look so legit. CJ Stroud might be in the MVP conversation. They might actually go deep in the playoffs. They might make the playoffs. I'm vibing with this Texans team until they show me they're not going to roll anymore.
Awesome. So we have the Texans selected there, favored by 5. We'll see how they do the rest of the season. I'm pretty excited to see them. It's good to see some of these teams that have not been doing good so far in the past few years finally finding some rhythm. Speaking of some teams trying to find some rhythm here, the Chargers, they're trying to find some rhythm. So are the Packers. Yes, the Packers have some momentum coming back with Aaron Jones, but it's not looking like they're the same team that they were when he was extremely healthy. So Los Angeles is favored by 3.5 here. Reed, give me your spin on this game.
All right, so you guys already know, even if we were playing the best team in the league, the Ravens or whoever you want to say it is, I'm picking the Packers. But I think if you're a betting person, you should take the Chargers here. I think it's even though they've been looking terrible, the Packers on offense, we don't have any identity. We can't get the ball to Aaron Jones and let him be productive. Passing game is terrible. Christian Watson is not who we thought he was going to be this year, and him and Jordan Love just cannot connect. Defensively, we're dealing with injuries in the back end, and need to get healthy there. Other than that, it's pretty solid in the defense. I think the Chargers are going to come up to the top on this, but I'm taking the Green Bay Packers, as always, as a huge Packer fan.
Not bad. I would love to agree with Reed here and give the benefit of the doubt to the Packers,
Plus
hoping that Aaron Jones has a great game this week. But I just think the way the Chargers play on offense, I think they take advantage of the injuries there. And the way that the Packers offense is playing, I don't think they can keep up. So unless the Chargers just play like total doo-doo water, like sometimes they do, I'm going the Chargers here. But Reed, it's your turn, so we're going to go with your pick. Packers are on the board for NSP here. But moving on to the New York Giants versus the Washington Commanders. It is a northeast battle up there. This one's kind of stinky again. I mean, the Giants just got blown out by the Cowboys. Washington Commanders just took a very last second L to the Seattle Seahawks this past week. But the Washington Commanders are favored by a whole 9 points now against the Giants. Another divisional game for the Giants. I picked the Giants last week, but I don't know if the Commanders have enough oomph, enough like force behind them to win by a whole 9 points. So I think I'm still. Nah, you know what? Give me the Commanders. I think they're just a way better team. This is a huge spread, though.
It's so big. And we thought at least I don't know what your thoughts were about the Cowboys winning by 16 last week against the Giants, and then they covered that.
By a lot.
Yeah, by a lot. Oh, it's so hard, but the Giants are just so terrible of a team. I think I'm also going to take the Commanders here -9.
Nice.
It's so hard to pick the Giants.
Yeah.
I think the spread they should put it higher. I don't know, man.
14? You're thinking 14?
No, not 14. I'm thinking like 10, 11,
Yeah.
9.
I can see that.
I honestly, like, it's a lot, but it just feels too easy also. It's so weird.
True, true, true. Well, we have another big spread here coming up in the next Sunday game: the Tennessee Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jacksonville Jaguars just got demolished by the 49ers. So I don't know what their business is having such a big spread at 7.5 in their favor. Yes, Tennessee, has their troubles. We don't know what's going on there or if that offense is even functioning well. Uh, I want to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars here. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think they have a bounce back game this week.
It's in Duval. I think that I'm going to take the Jags here. I'm hoping Will Levis has a good game. I'm really pulling for the guy. I would like to see another rookie quarterback playing well, other than C.J. Stroud, because that's about it right now. But I'm going to take Jags here. I think it's a safe pick.
Not bad, not bad. But it seems like this week is just the spreads galore because the Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions. This one is more considerable. Detroit Lions are favored by 8 here. I think I'm just going to go with the Detroit Lions. I like the way they played last week. Yes, it was a tough, gritty win, but I mean, I feel like those teams were some of the best offenses out there when they played the Chargers. They only won by 3 points, but going against the Chicago Bears, I definitely think they can win by more than 8.
It's going to be interesting just because you don't know what you're going to get with Justin Fields, most likely. And I do believe he's going to play this week against the Lions. He was a full participant today, as this is Wednesday right now that we're recording, that he was a full participant in practice. I do think he's going to play. Is his X factor going to be able to put them above? We have seen him able to put up some points in some games, especially before his injury. That offense was technically clicking a little bit. I think I'm going to take the Bears +8. This might come and bite me in the butt. I know, but I'm going to take the Bears +8. This might bite me in the butt. I hate this. Moving on. I'm taking the Bears. I'm going to regret it.
I'll pick the Lions here because it is my turn. But hey, man, you never know. These divisional games always go differently sometimes. But Sunday game here, another humongous spread. Las Vegas Raiders versus the Miami Dolphins at 13.5 in favor for the Dolphins. Now, the Raiders, I just saw a tweet today saying that they've only allowed 3 scoring drives out of, I think, 35 drives since week 8 against their defense. But Miami is a powerhouse offense. And I believe that they just came off a
They
bye
came off a
week.
bye. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. I think they're prepped and ready. But this is a big spread. So I think I've gone with too many big spreads this week. I think I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders here. I think that they are able to cover at least the 13.5 spread.
All right. I want to ride with you, Vincent, but in my opinion, I know who the Dolphins are. Against the good teams, they do not show up. They do not show up at all. But against the mediocre to bad teams, they put the absolute stomping on. Give me the Miami Dolphins, my team, minus 13.5, 100%. I believe they cover this.
Not bad, not
It's been
bad.
going too well for the Raiders since they switched coaches. We've seen it before where they get a game or two and then they start showing their true colors again of having not so good of a locker room, not so good of a roster, not so good of a coaching staff. I'm going with the Dolphins, easy.
Nice, nice. All right, we'll pick the Dolphins there because this is your turn, Reed. Now we have another big spread. I mean, they're just going to keep coming until we get to the Seattle Seahawks game, as you can see there as a precursor. But Dallas Cowboys versus the Carolina Panthers. Oh, my Lord. Another big spread, 11.5 in favor for the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't pick them against the big spread last week, and I think I am forced now to do that because I've been flip-flopping every single time with the Cowboys. So I'm going back in the Cowboys' favor. Give me the Cowboys taking that win of more than 11.5.
I'm going to agree with you 100%. Minus 11.5. Cowboys, they have some of the biggest spreads out there.
It is true. Alrighty, moving on to the mid afternoon, evening games, whatever you want to call them. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the San Francisco 49ers. AJ is not here to talk highly about the 49ers, so let me do it for him. I'm picking the Niners.
All right. Well said words there, Vincent. I will also be taking the Niners. I think we just have to. Now, Vincent, my question to you is we know who AJ would pick here. Should we just select it for him?
Since it's his honeymoon.
Nah.
I was going to say, I think we've already given him a gift by being the best groomsman
Yeah,
in his wedding.
that's
So
100% true.
yeah, we'll say if he doesn't put this one in, he just didn't pick the Niners this week to
Yeah,
win,
he
and
just
we're gonna
doesn't
hold him
believe in the
against.
Niners. He just
We're gonna
doesn't
hold it
believe.
against him forever. But for sure, he's gonna be betting on this one because he has more hatred for the Seattle Seahawks than he has love for the 49ers, and I know that's true. And if he was here, he would say that. But we have a divisional game: Seattle Seahawks versus Los Angeles Rams. I mean, I'm going Seahawks here. It's a straight up pick, so it's whoever's going to win. I haven't seen what I had been seeing in the beginning of the season with the Rams and how they were a good offense. It seems like since Cooper Kupp has been back, hasn't been that lately. So I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to win here. It's in LA, but I feel like we have some very good rookies who are just shining right now, and they love the spotlight. So I think this divisional game against a tougher divisional rival in the Rams is going to be a good one. But give me the Seahawks. I think we win.
All right. I'm honestly really in the middle. Matthew Stafford is most likely going to be playing this game. I do believe he was a full participant, if I'm not wrong. Today, Wednesday. Um, it's hard for me, honestly. I'm gonna go with Rams, but as I said with the Bears, I think I'm also gonna regret this one.
Who knows? Who knows? It's a straight up pick, guys. So
I
this
have
one's
Puka in too many leagues not to believe that this offense needs to click. All right, I need Puka to do well.
hey man, sometimes fantasy gets the best of you. So hopefully he does do well, but I still think the Seahawks will win, regardless. So the last game in that mid-evening slot is the New York Jets versus the Buffalo Bills. The Bills just got, I'm not gonna say embarrassed, but they just lost to the Broncos. We do not know who this team is, man.
3 in a row for the Broncos, though. 3 in a
Yeah,
row.
man. Hey,
We'll talk
Russell
about them in a
Wilson.
little bit. We'll talk about them in a little
Yeah,
bit, but
they're
3 in a row.
next. But yeah, we'll stay with the Bills here. Uh, the spread here is 7 in favor for the Bills. I did not like the way the offense looked for the Jets here. They got beat by the Raiders this past week. But I just don't know if I believe in the Bills either. I think I'm going to go Jets here. I think they cover. They kept the other game close. I think they could keep this one close as well. And I mean, it's a battle in New York too. I don't see why this wouldn't be a good game.
You should 100% be picking against the Bills every single week until they show us that they are the Buffalo Bills that we thought they were last year, that we thought they were this year. 100% taking the Jets. Do not take the Bills if you were smart, especially at -7. If it was -3,
I know.
-4, then I still think
Maybe.
that I still think the Bills win this game, but by 7 points, that means they have to win by 8. I don't believe that. No. I'm taking the Jets.
Exactly. So we're there both with the Jets. Minnesota Vikings versus the Denver Broncos. We had just precursed to this here, saying that the Broncos are starting to get hot. Now maybe they're not playing to the best of their ability and they don't look so flashy, but they're getting it done. Russell Wilson has some of the highest stats. I saw something on a tweet. In a lot of areas, he's ranked first since like week 5 or something in like multiple areas as a quarterback. Touchdowns, passing percentage, completion rate, all that good jazz stuff, right? So it's looking like Russell Wilson's finally making his stamp there in Denver. Just took him a little while. And Denver is favored here by 2.5 against the Minnesota Vikings. With Dobbs there as their quarterback since Kirk Cousins' injury, I've liked what I've seen from them. But this one is a primetime game without Mr. Not So Prime Time in the starting lineup. So I think the Vikings will win here. I think Dobbs has shown that he's a quarterback that can start. So give me the Vikings. I think they beat the Broncos.
All right. I'm thinking Broncos. Just like I pick Packers every single week, I consistently pick against the Vikings. But the Vikings have a good shot to cover here. But I will not pick the Vikings.
Cool, cool, cool.
Hate
Since it's
them.
Reed's turn,
Hate them.
NSP is going with the Broncos as the hot hand. Now, the last week, or the last game of the week on Monday night, it is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Jeez. This one's going to be a tight one. And if it's not, I think there's going to be a little bit of a tush push to make sure that it is, whether that's scripted or whether it's just all skill and talent with these head coaches as well as the players on both of these teams. So in my opinion, I think I'm going to go with the Eagles here. I think they are the overall better team at this point in time. Kansas City Chiefs just has that, you know, that streak of being like, top 3, top 1 team at all times for the past like 5 years, ever since they got Patrick Mahomes in the starting lineup. Yeah, man, I think the Philadelphia Eagles pull a fast one here. It could come down to a field goal, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles at least cover this.
Okay. This is a Super Bowl rematch, and I think that the losing team in the Super Bowl, the Eagles, will win this game. I think I'm comfortable taking the Eagles here as the under. I really like it.
Yeah, man, at 2.5, I think it's a good game to bet on.
Hmm.
Unless something goes horribly bad for the Eagles, I don't see the Kansas City Chiefs running away with this the way that they've been playing as of lately.
No, no, not at all. They will not run away with it.
Alrighty, guys. Alrighty. Well, that is all that we have for bets in week 11, betting against the spread with NSP. If you guys love betting with us, make sure that you are 18 years or older and you click the link below to go ahead and get your money matched at least by 125% so that you can bet all you want with BetUS. So, Reed, do you have any other comments on week 11 before we end this video?
Other than always bet responsibly, no, sir.
Alrighty. And as we said in the beginning, guys, do not tell AJ to put his picks in because we need to catch up.
We need to catch
But
up.
yeah. But wish him a good, happy honeymoon. But don't text him because then he's gonna be like, "Oh, these are the fans. I gotta put my picks in." But other than that, guys, we hope that you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as we continue to grow. And as we always say, guys, keep on grinding.